Good morning, Recovery fam. Welcome back to Scott's Thoughts, where you never have to feel alone. Hope you're all doing well and staying safe and warm. If you're new to the community, don't forget to hit that big red support button down there and ring that bell so I'm missing upcoming videos or streams. So yeah, I have another reading from the Just for Today book for you today. That's a daily reading that may help you with something that you're going through your day. Give you something to think about, work towards. And today is January 20th. And the reading for today is called One Promise, Many Gifts. And each reading has a little saying before the reading up here. And today's reading says, Narcotics Anonymous offers only one promise. And that is freedom from active addiction. And that's from the basic text, page 106. And the reading today says, Imagine how it might be if we had arrived at the doors of Narcotics Anonymous, desperate, wanting to stop using drugs, only to be met by a sales pitch. That would suck. If you wish just to work the steps and don't use drugs, you'll get married, live in the suburbs, have 2.6 children, and start wearing polyester. Yeah. You will become a responsible, productive member of society and be fit company for kings and presidents. You will be rich and have a dramatic career or dynamic career. Most of us greeted with such a heavy-handed spiel would have shrieked and bolted for the door. I sure would have. Instead of high pressure nonsense and frightening predictions, we are all greeted with a promise of hope, freedom from active addiction. We feel a blessed relief come over us when we hear that we never have to use drugs again. We aren't going to be forced to become anything. Of course, after some time in recovery, good things start happening in our lives. We are given gifts, spiritual gifts, material gifts, gifts that we've always dreamed of but never dared hope we'd get. These, however, are truly gifts. They are not promised to us because we become NA members. We are promised, all we are promised is freedom from addiction. And it's more than enough. And then every reading has a just for today on the bottom. And today it says, just for today, I have been promised freedom from active addiction. The gifts I receive are the benefits of recovery. So yeah, so it's talking about when we come into recovery and stuff like that. That I was very pleased to hear that it was a spiritual program, not a religious program. If any program of recovery was a religious program, I would have bolted for the door. I wouldn't have wanted nothing to do with it. You know, so that's what recovery is all about. Freedom for whatever addiction that you're afflicted with, right? So you know, it's and what I like about being in recovery, it's always inclusive, never exclusive. You know, we're never told we have to conform. We're never told we have to do anything. You know, all we're given are suggestions. We suggest you do this. This is what we have, and these are the results we're getting. If you want to have what we have, we suggest that you do what we do. You know, I think that's why it's important that when you first come into recovery, they tell you, you know, take a year. You know, take a year to take care of you before you make any kind of huge decisions in your life. You know, for me, it was suggested that I didn't get into a relationship until I had my first year of recovery, and I didn't do what was suggested. So I went out there and I hurt another person really bad. You know, and that's just part of my story. I had to have the tools to be able to know what even it looked like to be a partner in a relationship. You know, I didn't know how to do that stuff. So it's stuff like that that is suggested. It's suggested that we work the steps. It's suggested that we go through the traditions and try to apply some of those principles and the traditions and the steps in our lives. You know. So for me, that's why recovery works for me. Recovery works for me because it is a spiritual program, and it always, just like the readings and stuff like that, it gives me something to strive for that day, you know? It helps me not isolate. It helps me get out of myself and be of service to others. It helps me to feel good about myself, you know? I didn't feel good about myself. I didn't feel like that before. You know, but today, because coming into the doors of recovery, I was accepted for me as my own individual. I didn't have to be anyone else. I didn't have to tell anyone else's story. I didn't have to wear all those masks and be plastic and superficial. I could just be myself. You know, and that's awesome. You know, it was a great feeling. I didn't have to conform. I didn't have to do anything. All I had to do was just show up and do my best to practice the principles of recovery in my life, you know, not just in the rooms, but outside in that crazy ass freaking world out there, you know. Well, one day at a time, just for today, you know, things started getting better. Things started to improve. I started having a little bit more confidence in myself. I was just talking the other day with a friend of mine. You know, I came into recovery and I had gone to the doctors and stuff like that, and I was always measured to see how tall I was and stuff like that, and I thought I was always 5'2". I was in recovery for a bit, and I went to the doctors, and he measured me again, and I was 5'4". I was always looking down at my shoes. You know, so the more, you know, you're standing up straight, you're having more confidence, you're feeling better about yourself, and this little stuff like that you change in your life, like my vocabulary, the environment I would keep myself in and stuff like that, made all the difference in my life. So, you know, so yeah, that was the reading for today. And it was called the 20th, January 20th. It was called One Promise, Many Gifts. You know, and it's so true. You know, I do receive so many gifts in recovery. So yes, so that was the reading for January 20th. One Promise, Many Gifts. So I hope you enjoyed the reading. If you are new to the community, please hit that big red support button down there and ring that bell. Give the video a thumbs up. Share with someone else. Share this video with someone else who might need a uplifting message for today. You know, so yeah. I hope you're all doing well and staying safe and warm. And I'll see you all again very soon. Love you. Mwah.